Raging Ricky here. I'm about ready to explode, and I'll tell you why. Folks, understand something. This country that we live in is the greatest country on the face of the earth, bar none. We have a governing document that's supposed to govern the way that this country is run. It's called the U.S. Constitution. There's a process in which our legislatures in Washington are supposed to follow that Constitution. I just read an article what they're doing in Washington right now with how they just increased the debt ceiling by $500 billion through an act that said basically this: if both houses do not agree to cut the spending in the debt, then they can increase the debt. In other words, what they're saying, it didn't matter whatever the House of Representatives did. If the Senate didn't go along with it, they could automatically increase the debt ceiling. Now understand how this works. What they're saying is Washington or the Republicans or the parties can preserve their name as being conservative. They can say, we voted against increasing the debt, knowing that they could vote against it in the House and it was going to get passed in the Senate and that would override everything. This is shenanigans at its finest. This is what's destroying this country. Our politicians in Washington today do not abide by the U.S. Constitution. They have come up with more rules and regulations on how they can manipulate the system in order to keep them in the power that the Constitution is thrown into a back room and completely disregarded. The problem that we have is the election process is sending these small-minded minions to Washington in the first place. Every election process, you and I as voters are faced with the same thing. Two parties put up the people that they want to promote, they want to move up the chain of command, and you and I are forced to vote for them. Doesn't matter how pathetic they are. Think about it for 1 second. How does a Maxine Waters, a Harry Reid, a Nancy Pelosi, or any of these people get into power? You and I both know that they don't have the sense God gave dirt. But yet they're in control, they're in power. They've done it through the election process that's controlled by the two parties. You want to change that? You want to change Washington? You want to take this country back? Go to GOOH.com. GOOH.com. There's a process in which we, as Americans, and I say Americans, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, we can change Washington. Let me tell you something. I am not stupid. I might be uneducated, but I'm not stupid. In Washington, here's a message for you. I'm smart enough to know that the games that you're playing are destroying this country. And I personally will not stand by and let you take away this country that belongs to my children and my grandchildren and generations to come.